Thank you, EITFX Expo. Thank you, Drew. And it's a great honor to be here with Karen Foo with me. And let me briefly introduce myself. I am ChongZhi Kee from Malaysia, and I'm full-time trader, prop trader, and I also help connect the educator, investor, and traders. So without further ado, let's give a round of applause again to our honor, Karen Foo.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Karen, you have built an impressive YouTube channel with over 500K subscribers. How did you actually transition from being a trader to an educator, and slowly, eventually, you build out your hustle income as in a IB business?
Okay, so the first thing is that my parents, they are stock investors. So I was born into a family of stock investors. So they actually inspired me to get into investing and trading to begin with. Because if they were not stock investors to begin with, I probably wouldn't pursue this path. So initially, I was a stock investor. Then I pursued trading as well because I want to take advantage of the short-term moves of the financial markets. So I went to university and then I pursued a degree in banking and finance. So from there, I also learned a lot about the securities market, commodities market, various markets. So in case you would like to know, the university I went to is Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. So I studied my finance degree there for 3 years, and then I, at the end of the semester, I represented my university to participate in a trading competition. So I managed to rank number one in the whole entire nation. But the thing is, before that number one ranking, I actually failed a couple of competitions, meaning I blew a couple of accounts. So it's not like the first try, then I ranked number one. Because after I blew those accounts, I learned from those mistakes. Then eventually in my final semester of my university, it's sort of like I want to prove to my university that I can bring value to them, make them proud. So in a way, I went to that competition. I told myself I want to get top three. So fortunately, I managed to rank number one after a lot of fine tuning, a lot of studying, and back testing. And after I ranked number one in the whole entire of Singapore, I competed with traders all around Singapore. Okay, and it was a good challenge because I actually competed with a couple of trading gurus from Malaysia right now, who they are based in Malaysia right now, but I competed with traders all around Singapore. So after I ranked number one, then people are telling me, hey Karen, could you start some classes? Could you teach trading? Because initially I did not really wanted to teach trading because I was a personal finance teacher in primary secondary schools. So I was teaching young kids credit cards, then like how to save money. Then adults were telling me to, hey, Karen, could you please teach trading? Start some trading courses. Then I'm like, you know what, let me just try to add value to people in that way. Then that's how I got into teaching in a way. Then my team back then told me, hey Karen, there are people overseas who would like to learn from you. Then I started a YouTube channel. Initially, I was quite hesitant to start a YouTube channel. So right now it's combined with the study channel and all that is 3 million subscribers. But I can tell you, my first 20 videos, the only people watching those videos is me and my mom. And probably my brother. So if you want to start social media, you want to build a brand on social media, just understand that your first 10 posts, 20 posts, 50 posts are probably going to be bad. When I look back at my first few videos, I cringe really badly. I'm sure you saw it yesterday too. CZ saw it yesterday too. I cringe really badly. It's bad. But then just keep posting, and eventually the algorithm will do its work. Make sure to do the SEO, tagging, and all that. It takes quite some time to learn, but you get there, okay? And then just keep posting. Be consistent. Don't give up. There are many times where I feel like giving up posting. But on those days when you feel like giving up, just keep going, keep posting, and then eventually you'll build a following. And that following, make sure that you add value to them consistently on a weekly basis, monthly basis, and eventually build that trust. And then you can pursue other things like IB as well as affiliates as well as sponsorship and all that. So consistency is very important.
Understand. So how do you see the roles as an IB evolving in today's trading landscape? Because some clients, they are actually know what is the IB, but some clients actually they don't, and they really avoid the IBs. So what do you think about we can add some value as an IB to the clients?
Okay, so how do you add value as an IB to your clients, meaning the people who follow you, okay? Could be investors, retail investors, and all that.
Right.
So one very important thing is you gotta make sure that you need to know how to pick the right broker. Now, there are lots of brokers over here in other expos as well, but the main mistake I see a lot of investors make, okay, when it comes to picking a broker, is that they would pick a broker just based on low spread and low commissions alone. Okay, now that is a problem because when people pick a broker just based on low spread, low commission, what happens when you want to take your money back? Yeah, when you are trading, yes, when you're trading, oh, it looks really cheap, don't need to pay a lot of fees. But then what happens when you want to take your money back? Okay, so the most important thing, I realized the most important thing, even though there are like 10 criteria you need to look at before you pick a broker, but the most important thing, personally for me, is to pick a regulated broker. Not just regulated by any country, because there are certain countries in which the regulations are not that strict. Because I've seen brokers who told me, okay, I'm not going to mention who, brokers who told me, hey Karen, I'm going to register my brokerage firm in this certain country. I said, why? Then he was like, because it's easier to get registered. Don't need to meet a lot of requirements.
Right.
Then I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Now the thing is, it has to be regulated by the good authorities. For example, FCA, okay, CFTC in the US. So the UK, US are good. Australian Securities Investment Commission, ASIC, okay, regulated in Australia. But if it's regulated by some other offshore countries, you gotta be careful with that, okay? So the other thing is that customer service is very important because it shows whether the broker really cares about you or not, okay? It's very important, so important to pick a reliable broker for your clients because your clients look up to you as the authority, as somebody who look up to. Okay, so make sure you pick the right broker. I have a checklist of 10 things you need to look at actually, but the main things I told you about is the regulation as well as customer service. Yeah.
So I have the same experience as well because when I started become the full night trader, a lot of broker approached me as well, like in the LinkedIn, like
Yeah.
I think that you have 10 over brokers in a week or
Yeah. A lot
every
of
week.
brokers, yeah.
So talking about the regulated broker and also so-called unregulated broker. So those regulated broker actually they are providing so-called the limited resources. And how do you see some unregulated broker that are providing more flexibility, the bonuses and the P&L to those marketers? So do you think that people should look up, the IBs should look up for the bonuses or they should look up more on regulated? So what do you think about that? I mean, the marketer, some marketer is attracted by the bonuses from the unregulated broker. So what is your view on that?
Okay, the thing is, because a lot of brokers, they would want to offer a lot of bonuses, a lot of perks. And I've seen some brokers who offer their clients cars. Like if you trade until a certain lot, you can get a car, you can get all these good things. Now, a lot of retail traders or investors, when they are not careful, they can fall into this trap where, oh my God, I could win so many things, I could get so many benefits. Still got to come back to the basics. The foundation, is it strong or not? Which is the regulation as well as the good customer service. Okay? Of course, the ease of the trading platform, user-friendly, very important too, but then those are just a side thing. And one very important metric that you got to take note of, okay? If a broker offers a super duper high leverage, that is also something that brokers use to entice people to join. So those beginners would not be able to decipher whether this is a good broker or bad broker based on leverage. Whereas if you are a professional, you know that the higher the leverage you use, the more likely you're going to lose money. Because if you look at Hong Kong traders, there's a study that's been done by Hong Kong traders, Hong Kong researchers. They studied Hong Kong traders and they realized, why is it that this group of Hong Kong traders can trade so well, so consistently, and they are so profitable. And they realized that this group of traders from Hong Kong who are doing so well, they use low leverage. Whereas when I see a lot of beginner investors, retail, they like to use super high leverage. Okay, so one very important thing, take note of this. If a broker offers anything more than 50:1 leverage, gotta be careful. Kind of a red flag there. Like 200:1, 400:1, don't go there. Okay, 50:1 or less than that. I personally use very low leverage, 20:1. Yeah.
Okay, because I got some experience as well when I comes to choose a broker, especially when I get some offer like a crazy offer, bonuses, high leverage like 1 to 2,000, 3,000, the kind of things. So I was thinking and discussed with the team that I mentioned that if let's say, for example, the brokers is earning about $10, but eventually they are paying in the market as a marketing $15. So how can a broker survive from there? So I have discussed with the team then after the while we goes for a very low leverage, no bonuses and regulated brokers so that we are focusing on very long term. So the next one I would like to ask Karen is like, when we as an IB representing a broker, do you think that our personal brand will tie up with the broker brand? So because as we promote to the audience that we trust, so what are the potential positive and negative impact that will affect us and how we can protect ourselves as an IB?
Yes, that's really important because the thing is, a lot of brokers, they would offer influencers, trading influencers, okay, a very good compensation. So I give you this amount. I've seen figures like 10K, 20K. I give you this amount, then you promote us. Now the thing is, I've seen trading gurus who fall into that trap. Okay, yesterday I mentioned to CZ too. We have seen trading gurus who have fallen into that trap of promoting a broker because the money is good. But then deep down inside, they all know that this broker is not good. Now, personally, I'm human. I have experienced that feeling, oh, you're paying me 20K to promote you. And it took me 1 week to reject them because the money was so good. So if I have accepted all the brokers that wanted to work with me, I would have earned more than 100K. I'll be 100K richer. But I know that if I accept this short-term gain, in the long term, my reputation is going to get affected. So one very important thing, if you become this leading authority in your field, okay, make sure that whatever that you promote, you would use it yourself too. Even for normal influencers, I've seen influencers who talk about like food, lifestyle, suddenly they talk about trading. Then it's like kind of a bit strange because they are paid really well. And the broker that they are promoting is badly regulated. So it's going to affect their brand. It might give you the good feeling short term, like I'm earning a lot of money right now, but then the long term, it's going to affect your reputation. So personally, for me, I prefer long term good reputation, good branding as compared to short term gains. Of course, it's enticing, but if you want your influencing career to last, your brand to last, then just we got to play the long-term game.
Okay. And I think that as an IB, we must always do a risk disclaimer to our audience as well, right? So whenever we are representing a broker or multiple brokers, we have never know what's happening the next day, right? So always be careful on picking the brokers and always do the disclaimer to identify and also diversify as well, right? So what do you think about representing a single broker and multiple brokers?
Okay, so if you want to promote brokers as an IB, so what you need to do is to promote 3 to 4, because personally I always tell the retails that you need to have at least 3 to 4 brokerage accounts, because if you put all your money into one broker, all your capital into one broker, what if the broker goes bust? I have seen very well regulated broker going bust. So you gotta spread your capital across 3 to 4 different brokers, not too many, because if you have like 10, 20 brokers, then it's hard to track. So 3 to 4 brokers. So personally, I promote around 4 brokers at most, and then beyond that, I don't accept any more brokers.
So I think, Karen, thank you so much for your sharing journey insight today. And let me wrap up with 3 takeaways for our audience as well. So number 1, we talk about the value that we need to bring to the audience, like how you build your YouTube channel. Eventually, you have no expectation from the content creation, but eventually when you start building something is valuable to the audience, the side hustle will come after this, right? So the second one will be always be careful on picking the brokers, and because this will definitely affecting our own brand as well. It's not only we as an IB to represent the broker, but the broker also represent us. Okay, and always diversify into multiple broker to provide more value and secure to the our client base, right?
I think what you mentioned is really interesting, because as long as you focus on adding the best value that you can to your clients, focus on that, then your IB business, whatever side hustle that you have, is kind of gonna take care of itself. Because I believe that if I wake up today and all I focus on is how can I grow my IB business, how can I be the best athlete I can, make more sales, sell more courses, sell more books, then it's going to affect the amount of value that I give to my clients, to my followers. So every single day, when you're making content, focus on giving the most value that you can to your followers, then build that trust. Then eventually down the road, whatever that you promote, people are going to trust you on that. But when you promote something, make sure that it is something that you personally would use, and that you can go to sleep at night and sleep in peace. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Okay, so for those IB out there, I think that stop focusing on giving out the low spread bonuses to the audience, to the client. Start focusing on the value that you can bring to the clients, right?
Yep.
So if let's say we, any question we can do after here, the section. So I thank you so much for IFX Expo to having Karen and me today. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, guys.